Hello everyone, this is Ashish Saini from Innovate Yourself. Welcome back to my channel. Once again, I am back with a new video on Python programming. In today's session, I will show you that how you can make your attributes in classes and objects as completely private so that nobody can access it even after, or let's say even outside of a class. So let me show you how we are gonna do it so that you can understand how you can make it completely private, how you can get it, how you can set it. So let me show you completely all about that. So let's get started and let's see how to do that. Alright, so you can see this is a class which we have created in our last program, and there I have shown you that how you can make any attribute hidden so that nobody can access it. And also if you want to access it, then in that case you should be using this method to access it. Now right now I'm going to show you a method through which you will be making your attribute completely private so that nobody can access it even outside the class. Like with this method also, you can't even will be able to access it through this method as well. So let me show you how to make it completely private. So currently you can see like this is an attribute in which you have stored a value as 5 and you are able to access it through this method. Right now I'm not going to use the same method just because I want to make it completely private, right? So for that, let me show you one more thing before that. So let's say I am using this constructor method, and in here I am passing one, let's say name. Let's say it is a fruit name, and this is one attribute for me. And to make it globally accessible within the class, let me just add this self dot name equal to name. So this is how I will be making it completely accessible within the class, right? And even when I will be let's say creating an object with respect to this fruit class, I will be able to access these methods also, right? But I also want to make them completely private. So firstly let's try like this, and after that I will make it completely private. So for that, here you just have to pass the fruit name. Let's say it's apple. So this is a fruit name, and now let's print this, print obj dot. Now you can see name is also accessible, right? So name is also accessible, you can access it. Now let me run it. So you can see object created 5 and also apple. So this is how you can access it. Now let me show you the next thing, and the next thing is that I just want to make it completely private. So to make it completely private, I will be using the same thing over here also, but that will be written inside the constructor method. So let me just make it completely private, right? So now let's see how should I access it. So right now you can see you're not able to access it like this. Okay, same thing, let's try it like this. No, I'm not able to access it like this either. So let me try one more thing, fruit underscore underscore name. Okay, currently I am able to access it, but I just want to completely make it private, right? So to make it completely private, right now what I have done, I have just passed these values, and those values are passed directly. But now I don't want to pass it like this, so that I will not be able to access it with this method also, right? So to do that, just remove this from here so that you don't have to pass the value for it, right? And now let's pass any random value, or let's say you can pass the empty string as well. That's up to us, right? Now let's try this. All right, so now you can see for this also you are able to access the value, but I don't want to access it like this either, because currently it is not completely private, right? I'm able to access it like this, but I don't want to access it like this. So let me show you how should I do it, how should I change this thing. So for that, let's do one thing, just remove this from here, because we know whenever we will create an object with respect to this class, what will happen, this method will be called automatically, and I don't want to do that, because if I will create this, then at that time what will happen, this self dot double underscore name equal to whatever is the value that will be assigned to this particular attribute. So that means this attribute will exist. So I don't want to make it accessible like this. So for doing that, what I will be doing, I will be creating another method, and that method is, let's say attributes, right? So it can be any number of attributes. Right now I'm going to do it like this. So here I will be assigning this value, right? So that means I will be able to access it only when I am going to pass some value for it, or when this particular method will be called, then only this will be in existence, otherwise we will not be able to access it, right? Now after that, right now if I will try it, now you will see, not like this, let's remove this one as well. Now let's try it. So you can see this is created, this is called, but right now for this you are not able to access it. So I don't want to access it like this either, right? So that means now I have done something better. Now after that, how should I access it? I just want to make it accessible within the class only, and outside the class I don't want to access it like this. Instead I want to access it, or I don't want to call it whenever I will be calling some different method. So that means I have to create two different methods. One is to get the data, one is to set the data. So for doing that, let's say get name. So I am creating this method, and in this what I will be doing, I will be simply calling like return. What I will be returning, I will be returning this. So just return this. Similarly, I have to create another method which is a set name, right? Not this, set name. And what I have to do, I have to assign a value for it, and that value will be coming from here, because when I will be calling this method to set the value, it will expect some value from me, which I will be setting up over here for the existing attribute. So this is how I will be assigning the value, this is how I will be getting the value, right? So right now when I will be calling it, at that time what will happen, let's say if I will, let's say obj dot get name. If I will try to do it now also, then what will happen, let's see, you will get an error, just because here also it will find that it does not exist, just because I haven't called this particular method, right? You can do it in the same method also, but that's up to us, that whether we want to call it or no. So this is how I can do it, but currently I have called this different attribute, so I will be calling it separately. So let me first do it like this, obj dot attribute. Now when I will run it, you will see you will not get an error, and for this particular value you are not getting any value right now, just because here what I have passed some by default value, and by default value is nothing, it's just an empty string, right? So this is what I have done. Now after that, the next thing is, if I want to access the data, then how should I access it? Right now I'm able to access it like this, but other than this, what I want to do next is I just want to access it through this methods, and also I want to update it. Now let's update it, obj dot set name, and here you can see it will expect some name from me, from some value from me, right? So let's pass it like apple. Now let's run it. So you can see this is how I can make the use of set name and get name. Here I am setting up the value, similarly I am getting the value for it. Now suppose if I will repeat the same thing, let's say banana. Now you can see after this I have applied the same thing, so I have got a new value for it. So that's why for this method you will get the output as banana. So this is a new value for it. So this is the way how you can make your data not readable to everyone, or you can say how you can make your data completely private so that nobody can access it. And other than that, you can see how we have created the get method to get the data, how you have created the set method to set the value of your data, or let's say set a new value to your existing attribute. Similarly, currently what I have done, I have just used a single attribute, but you can use multiple attributes as well to apply the new values for that. So this is how we can do it. Currently I'm doing it in this attribute, but you can do the same thing by adding the different attributes inside this into this constructor method. So this is the way how we can do it. Now I hope everything is clear to you, but still if you are facing any difficulties in understanding the topic, feel free to leave a comment below in the comment section so that I can resolve your issues as soon as possible. And also if you have any feedback for us, do let me know in the comment section so that we can work on that as well. So that is it for today. If you have liked this video, do click on the like button. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, or you're new to our channel, then do click on the subscribe button so that you do not miss any videos from our side. You can press the bell icon so that whenever we will upload a video, you will get a notification for that. So that is it for today. So till then, bye bye and happy learning.